Good morning, and thank you for tuning into the Andrew Tate Show, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We've got a great show for you guys today. We're going to be covering Russell Wilson, Kirk Cousins, and Baker Mayfield, Dana White's feelings on Tyson versus Paul, Victor Wembanyama, and make sure you guys stick around for later in the show when we'll be diving into the oddities of the day. Before we start, I'd like to ask you guys like and follow the show. Also, we get a number of questions from viewers that come in during the show, so to ensure that your question gets read on the air, I ask that you use the tips and donation link with your question. The tips and donation link is gsmcpodcast.net. This puts your question at the top of the list so that I can see it, and it also just really helps the show. Hello, Tate. How are you doing today?
Hello, Miss Faith. Miss, it's Tuesday. She's
Tuesday.
Alive and kicking.
She's a lot better than she was yesterday.
But we did not have any technical difficulties yesterday.
No, we didn't. But you need to be careful saying that, because I feel like today we're going to have something because we didn't have one yesterday.
Mondays, we always have technical difficulties.
Yeah,
and
always.
So I've just kind of put our business out on the street here.
Yeah.
Also, I just realized I had my microphone wrong direction.
Oh, okay. Well, there we go. That was our issue. Yes.
Okay.
Maybe that was just the issue for today.
I just looked down and I'm like, why is my microphone backwards? So, all right.
Also, I want to give a shout out. Today is my lovely mother's birthday, so I want to say happy birthday to my mom.
Happy birthday, Mom.
Happy birthday. She's going on a field trip today with her class, so she's getting a nice little out of the classroom thing for her birthday.
Oh,
today,
so your mom's a school teacher then?
Mm-hmm. She teaches kindergarten. Yes.
Wow, kindergarten teachers.
Yes.
Kindergarten. Can you go wrong with it? Has anyone ever had a bad kindergarten teacher?
I mean, I haven't. I loved my kindergarten teacher. So
yeah, everyone has this. Everyone's kindergarten teacher, they're like a different level there. They're always super sweet. Mm-hmm. Unless you go to Catholic school. You always hear those Catholic school nun. Beatrice the nun. She worked in the lunchroom and she was a nun. That's the only time you hear those rough stories.
Yeah, teachers run in my family, and I refuse to be a teacher.
I'm noticing that.
Yeah.
So no interest at all, huh?
Mm-mm. No, I grew up with my dad was a teacher, my mom's a teacher, and my brother's a teacher. So
see,
not something I want to do.
I'd rather be a professor than a teacher. No, none of this K through 12 stuff. I'm talking college professor. I
agree, but you got to go through a lot of stuff to become a college professor. That just seems like a lot of work that I don't want to do. So.
You're like me. You're like, I'm going to cut my own path. I can dig that.
Yeah.
And then, Faith was looking out for me today. She checked to see if made sure I had my snack.
Yes.
And I'm like, I've already eaten breakfast. I just ate right before I came on air, so
Tate likes to snack during the show.
This show takes a lot out of me. I got to fuel up halfway through.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Although I got to cut back on the feeling up, I'm starting to fill out. So got to get a little better at that one. Mm-hmm. So, all right. So what do you have for me today?
So we had some big stuff going on with the NFL lately. So we had Russell Wilson, Kirk Cousins, and Baker Mayfield all signed new deals this past weekend, I believe. So Russell Wilson signed with the Steelers. Kirk Cousins is leaving the Vikings for a 4-year deal with the Falcons, and Baker Mayfield agrees on a 3-year contract with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So starting out with Russell Wilson, he said goodbye to the Denver Broncos, and it was kind of up in the air for a little bit whether or not he was going to go to the Steelers, but said he was really interested in them, and the Steelers were interested in him as well. And I believe it was it yesterday or the day before yesterday when they signed him?
I think it was yesterday. I could be off. No, maybe it was the day for you. Yeah.
Anyway.
So one of those.
Recently, Russell Wilson signed with the Steelers. And we did talk about that a little bit last was it last week that we talked about it? Or did we talk about it yesterday? Last week. Okay.
Last week.
My days kind of run in together a little bit. So Russell Wilson posted on X tweeting year 13 grateful and added the Steelers. And then the NFL official Twitter account chimed in and added Russell Wilson is a Steeler. So I know since we were talking about this last week, you said that it would be a good move if the Steelers brought in Russell Wilson. So now that he is officially a Steeler, I would like to hear your thoughts on it and how you feel it's going to go for next season.
I thought it was the perfect move for the Steelers. Redoing and bringing back Kenny Pickett, I thought was a bad decision. But I think it's a good decision long term for Kenny Pickett. Having Kenny Pickett, I know they're saying it's an open competition, that Russ isn't brought in to be the de facto starting quarterback.
Right.
But, he was brought in there to start, in my opinion. Kenny Pickett has the ability to be a good quarterback if given time to develop. He's not ready to be a starter. That was the biggest problem I had with Kenny Pickett. If you're planning on working with a quarterback long term, you do not want him developing bad habits. And to me, that's exactly what he was doing. So now you go out, you're able to get a veteran quarterback, a Super Bowl champion quarterback, a future Hall of Fame quarterback in which he can lead the team. A lot of the mistakes that Kenny Pickett and Mason Rudolph made, Russ will not make. A lot of situations where maybe it's an incomplete pass or lost, stop short. Russ can make plays with his legs. He's such an underrated playmaker with his legs. That will extend downs. No one does more with less than the Pittsburgh Steelers. Giving Mike Tomlin a weapon like Russ gives them a chance to be even more of a dynamic team. Pittsburgh has been quite boring in many ways. But adding Russ adds a certain level of flair to them. You have to prepare for Russ. If not, Russ can kill you with his arm, he can kill you with his mind, and he can kill you by running. Russ is that triple threat quarterback that the Steelers need, especially with maybe the lack of talent, in my opinion, that the Steelers have. It's also for Russ, it's a good move. He needed to get out of there. The whole concept of him talking about the fact that maybe he would come back and things like that, Sean Payton made it impossible for him to come back. No one in their right mind thought bringing Russ back to the Denver Broncos was going to be a good move. Now, they're paying him $36 million to go play for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
Russ signed for, I think, $1.6 million, plus he gets that $36 million on top of that. And he gets if he's the starter, which we're assuming he will be the starter, he gets to go back and play Denver later on in the season, get some payback. I think it's a good move. This also opens the way for, with them getting rid of Russ and, the cap hit, the $80 million cap hit is going to hit the Denver Broncos over the next 2 years. So $80 million is going to cost them to get rid of Russ. Makes it a guarantee that they're going out and drafting a quarterback. As a quarterback, though, it's scary. I don't know if I would want to get drafted by, the Broncos. When you look at how they treated Russ,
yeah,
is this, but Drew Brees and Sean Payton had an amazing relationship, and that's the thing you hope for. And it could be one of those situations where Sean Payton wanted to bring in his guy. He wants his guy to lead his offense. And I think he's more loyal to his guys, and he wasn't loyal to Russ because he didn't bring him in. But it concerns me because I think they draft the 12th spot. Let's say they draft a quarterback that has the potential to be a solid quarterback in the NFL, but you have a situation where maybe he needs a little more seasoning, some time to learn the NFL. Kind of about like the way I think about Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett right now should not be a starting quarterback. Trey Lance shouldn't be right now a starting quarterback. That doesn't mean they don't have the ability to become a starting quarterback or even a very good quarterback. But it takes a little marinating sometimes. And with them now being cash strapped with the $80 million, and if they go out and draft a quarterback, are they going to force a guy to develop a little bit faster than he should? That's the question that I have. I would love to see them go out and get a solid veteran like a Joe Flacco or someone like that. If you're going to draft a quarterback, bring in a veteran as well with him, someone that can help him become a pro and adjust to the NFL game. So that's kind of what Pittsburgh now has. They have that veteran, they have that young quarterback, and maybe Russ can mentor Kenny Pickett and develop and move on.
So you think Russ Wilson's going to be starter then instead of?
Oh, I do.
Okay.
They've pretty much said it's a competition. In that competition, I feel like there's no competition. You know, it's kind of like when we were talking about the Anthony Joshua, Francis Ngannou. There really wasn't much competition. I feel like Russ is going to knock the competition out and take the job. And so I just don't see Kenny Pickett unless Kenny Pickett has made some amazing leap forward in the offseason, which is possible. But you're not bringing in a name like Russell to come in. Russell Wilson. I've almost said Russell Westbrook. Russell Wilson. You're not bringing in a guy like that to be like, hey, I just need you to go hold a clipboard and look pretty on the sidelines. You know what I mean? There's many other guys you can bring in to back up Kenny Pickett. So he's been brought in to be the starter and maybe the mentor to their future quarterback. That's kind of the way I see it.
Yeah. Well, it'll be good for Kenny Pickett then.
Hopefully. Well, if he doesn't develop, if Kenny Pickett doesn't make a big improvement over the next 2 seasons, he could find himself in trouble.
Yeah.
So you don't want to end up in a Mac Jones situation where Mac is, looking for a home.
I'll tell you what, though, I'd love to be in Russell Wilson's shoes. That man's making an extra 35 mil. Not having to do anything.
It's one of those tough things. For Russ, he wants to play another 5 more years. And I don't know, this is the first step of him being able to play a few more years. But man, it is hard to get $36 million. Someone tells you, we don't want you to go home and go home. You have to be a different kind of cat to be able to be like, you know what? Yes, make sure that money got deposited in, checking the commas, and be like, you know what? I need to get up and work harder.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the whole concept of it's hard to get up and fight every day when you're waking up in satin sheets. Is it one of those situations? Will Russ look at this as a new challenge and a chance? And that, from everything I know about Russ, he will. But it's also an easy way to say, to pack it in. He's been in the league for a while, but this could be either a wake up call where he's going to be ready,
Mm-hmm.
or this will be Russ's last stop. If Russ goes to Pittsburgh and flops out, he's done in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
This is a make or break year for Russ.
Yeah.
There won't be another landing spot for Russ where he's going to be like the starter. It's kind of like Cam Newton.
Mm-hmm.
Cam Newton, once he left Carolina, he never found a nice landing spot. Everything okay over there? There was a weird little look you just gave there. I'm
good.
Just making sure. Did your computer blow up on you? What happened?
No, I'm good.
Sorry, I didn't mean to put that out there. I was like, okay, what happened?
No, I'm good.
Oh,
Continue.
no. What happened? Let me hear it.
Well, I was going to try to send you a message on Zoom, and I accidentally hit the share screen button, and I thought I was going to mess up the thing, but it's fine. We're all fine.
All right.
Okay. Well, I was gonna ask if you wanted to take a quick break, come back, and we'll talk about Kirk Cousins and Baker Mayfield.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Then
that's what we'll do.
See, this is the behind the scenes that's not really behind the scenes. All I know is I saw this look that Faith gave that was like, oh crap, what the heck just happened? So I knew there was consequences and repercussions going on.
We're fine. Everything's fine.
Nothing to see here, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, happy birthday, Mama.
Yeah, happy birthday, Mom. Love you. All right, guys. Well, with that, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll come back to this topic and talk about Kirk Cousins and Baker Mayfield. So stick around.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits. I'm losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
Alrighty, guys, welcome back. Earlier, we were discussing Russell Wilson moving to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and now we're going to be talking about Kirk Cousins and Baker Mayfield. But first, I just wanted to remind you guys to like and follow the show. Also, we get a number of questions from viewers that come in during the show, so to ensure that your question gets read on the air, I ask that you use the tips and donation link with your question. That link is GSMCpodcast.net. This will put your question at the top of the list so that I can see it, and it also just really helps the show. Alrighty. Welcome back.
We had a little change to our programming.
Yes. Little change to the dynamic today, but
on the sneak sip, one story got cut on and left on the floor.
Sorry.
Off with that story's head.
Maybe it'll be here tomorrow. We'll see.
We'll see.
Play by ear. All right. So now we're going to be discussing Kirk Cousins. So Kirk Cousins is leaving the Vikings for a 4-year deal with the Falcons. Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons has finally solved their franchise quarterback issues. The club agreed to terms on a 4-year deal with former Minnesota Vikings free agent quarterback Kirk Cousins on Monday, according to his agent Mike McCartney. A source told ESPN's Adam Schefter that Cousins' deal is worth about $180 million, $45 million per season, including a $100 million guarantee. Cousins joins an offense which includes several players who were taken in the first round. The Falcons have 3 first-round offensive linemen, left tackle Jake Matthews, right tackle Caleb McGarry, and 2-time Pro Bowler Chris Lindstorm at right guard. He also has Atlanta's last 3 first-round picks, tight end Kyle Pitts, receiver Drake London, and running back Bian Robinson, skill position players with which to work. Beyond, sorry.
All right.
So
first off, all right. I sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
there.
I was just going to ask, how do you feel about
what
this?
was my thought?
How do you feel about this?
Okay, I'm a little surprised that this actually happened. I thought Minnesota was going to keep him. I thought Minnesota would kind of go all out to keep him. So I was a little bit surprised about that because it leaves me wondering, what is Minnesota's plan for the future? Minnesota, a solid organization. And one of the things about that people don't understand about the Minnesota Vikings is what a great organization it is. It is. Matter of fact, we were just talking about the NFL grades that came out.
Yeah.
Year after year after year, the Vikings are always number 1 or number 2 or number 3. They're year after year. The players love to be there. You know, the organization takes care of their players incredibly well. And the Cousins seemed really happy to be in Minnesota. So I was expecting that they would come to some type of agreement where they weren't going to let him go anywhere else. But that's the danger of when you allow your quarterback to be a free agent. Now, if I'm Kirk Cousins, I think it's a smart move. It's a smart move, but a dangerous move. The smart move is the reason why it's a dangerous move. First, Minnesota he's been in the room. He knows who Minnesota is. He knows the organization. The organization loves him. Long term, you know, sometimes the organization that brings you in and you've been there a long time, they have a lot of loyalty to you. So if you have a bad year or two, they're less quick to pull a Sean Payton, Russell Wilson situation. Now going to the Falcons has it all. If you're thinking about, hey, I want to contend for the playoffs, I want to contend for MVPs. Well, the Falcons is not a bad place to land. That's the reason why I thought Justin Fields, that would have been the perfect place for Justin Fields. It's a young team, solid, young offensive line, young weapons. These are all things that every quarterback wants.
And they got a new coach, too. New coach.
That's the question.
Yeah.
See how well someone meshes with the coach. But to have a potential Pro Bowl skilled level tight end, running back, wide receiver, offensive line, that's everything that a person will want. I could really see the Atlanta Falcons really making a big jump with Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins doesn't make a lot of mistakes. Kirk Cousins is vanilla ice cream. You know, you can get risky at the birthday party and be like, I want that Samoa ice cream, and you know what? And it may taste the ingredients may not be what everyone wants, but you show up with that vanilla ice cream, everybody's gonna be happy. It's not gonna blow your cap back or anything. Don't get me wrong, but Kirk Cousins is that guy. Kirk Cousins is not going to be Patrick Mahomes. He's not going to be Lamar Jackson, but he's going to be Mr. Consistent. He's going to put up solid numbers throughout the year. He's going to put the ball, he's going to run your offense, he's going to put the ball where it needs to be, and you're going to win games with him. I think this is the move. I'm right now with this move. I got Atlanta making the playoffs just by adding him. That's how good I think he is. So many people, a lot of times, looks at him as he's not that great of a quarterback. Yes, he is. Go look at the numbers. It's kind of like the same people that say Dak Prescott's not a really good quarterback. Dak Prescott is an incredible quarterback. He can't get you to the promised land, but he'll get you to the gates. and that's Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins has the ability to contend for MVP year after year, put up huge numbers, win a bunch of regular season games. I don't look at this as a get you to the Super Bowl move. There's more pieces that going to need to be made before this team's contending for the Super Bowl. But I think this team is definitely contending for the division and for, in the playoffs. And that's the biggest battle of them all. That's one thing fans miss out on, is the fact that your goal is to win your division, get a first round bye, and you've made the playoffs, you won your division, you got a first round bye, then the new season starts. Playoff football is not the same as regular season football, but you got to make it through regular season football. And Kirk Cousins is one of those guys that will get you through regular season football. And so I think it's a fantastic move.
Well, what do you think is going to happen with the Vikings then? Since
I don't know.
Kirk Cousins
That's a great question. I don't know. I don't think people realize how important he was to the Minnesota Vikings. The Minnesota Vikings were a decent organization who contend for playoff spots and consistently won games. I think they take, I think they're going to take a big step back. Kurt was a very and really important part of this. So I'm not sure what's going to happen there. When I look at it, I think losing him makes them no longer a playoff contending team. I don't see them making the playoffs this year unless they go out and trade. Now this could be one of those situations where they're like, hey, we want to go out and get Justin Fields. Well, I don't see the Bears really trading Justin Fields to the Vikings. So it's going to be interesting. I think the Vikings have decided, maybe they're thinking we need to take a step back before we can move forward. Sometimes an organization can look at a quarterback and look at a team and says, listen, we have gone as far as we can with what we have. We need to take a step back so we can move forward. And maybe that's where they're at. Listen, Kurt has taken us as far as he can take us. We need to bring in a new quarterback, revamp around there, and then move forward. It's an organization that I trust. It's an organization I believe in. I know they haven't won anything. So many people look at the fact that, like, hey, they never win the Super Bowl. Well, most teams don't win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
There's 32 teams and only one makes the Super Bowl. So it's hard to win championships. And when you look at it, lately it's been the same group of teams that keep going. It's the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And before that was New England. It's very hard. Very few people find that magic potion that gets him to consistently winning or even win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But I gotta believe that Minnesota's looked at things and just decided, listen, we can keep doing what we're doing. We've been contending every year for the playoffs, but that's all we do is contend for the playoffs. I think maybe they're like, we got to do it. We're doing something completely and totally different.
Yep.
Yes.
All right.
So a segment inside of a segment. What's it?
Yes.
Give me segment 2 within our segment.
Moving on to Baker Mayfield. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers and quarterback Baker Mayfield agreed to a 3-year deal for $100 million in total and a $50 million guarantee, sources told ESPN on Sunday. Mayfield is set to make $30 million guaranteed in 2024, $30 million with $20 million guaranteed in 2025, and $40 million in 2026. There is a $5 million per year in incentives, bringing up the maximum value of the contract to $115 million. Mayfield confirmed the deal in a statement to ESPN's Adam Schefter. Mayfield said, "I wanted a chance to come back. I love Coach Bowles and the staff. I'm happy to be here, and I want to win more in the postseason." Mayfield signed with the Bakers on a 1-year deal worth $4 million in March of 2023.
Wait, you said he signed with the Bakers.
I mean, the Buccaneers. Sorry.
I'm like, whoa, they changed the name of the team too? I mean, like, that's a deal.
Just for him, yeah.
That's loyalty right there. The Tampa Bay Bakers.
It's the day after Monday, guys.
I'm like, I'm signing with if anybody comes out and say, listen, we're gonna change the name.
We're gonna change the team name. Yeah.
Sign. Just sign the contract and move on. Sorry,
Anyway.
I had to do that. Sorry.
Mayfield signed with the Buccaneers on a 1-year deal worth $4 million in March of 2023, charging him with the monumental task of replacing 7-time Super Bowl winner Tom Brady. So, Baker Mayfield.
First off, let's talk about me making fun of you calling them the Tampa Bay
for the
Bakers.
Bakers.
Listen, there is no one on the planet that messes up more words than yours truly here. So
I don't know. I feel like I'm racking up. I'm racking it up right now.
Don't get a brother wrong now. You climbing the ladder.
Yeah.
But no, I mess up all the time. So it is easier said than done. When the lights are on, you guys, and next thing you know, you're calling them the Tampa Bay Bakers. It's not that's your boy here does it too. So
okay.
All right. So my first thing, I'm going to start out by giving people my history and background of what I've thought of Baker Mayfield.
Mm-hmm. From
the beginning, when Baker came out of college, I was like, the Browns should not draft Baker.
Mm-hmm.
He's too emotional. He's too immature. He doesn't work within a system. He's kind of, I'm going to, backyard football-esque player. And I just wasn't a fan. I didn't think the Browns should draft him at all. He had one good year in Cleveland and a whole lot of fumbles and interceptions and a lot of bad situations in Cleveland. And I thought the Browns should have gotten rid of him. And I just wasn't a big fan.
Mm-hmm.
When he went to Carolina, wasn't a fan there either. But in that time, he went to Tampa Bay. And the thing that he did was, to me, he reinvented himself in Tampa Bay. He became a lot more mature. He found a team that rallied around him.
Mm-hmm.
He got the team to not only rally behind him, but then increase their play and perform well, where everyone initially thought, Tom Brady's gone, scrap this team, put him off, sell him off to Cancun right now. and he got them into the playoffs. No one deserves this contract more than Baker Mayfield. I love it. I have been, like I said, consistently not a proponent for signing Baker Mayfield, but he has changed. In my eyes, he has changed. I saw the level of maturity that Baker Mayfield has developed over the years. He's not the same quarterback that came out of college and went to Cleveland, Mr. Very cocky, very arrogant. I know everything. And the organization definitely wrapped around him and worked with him and worked with his skills. I think it was smart to sign him for a multi-year contract because I would have done the same thing. And now I start developing our path forward is Baker Mayfield is our future quarterback for the foreseeable future. He's our franchise quarterback now. And I think it's a good fit. I love the fact that his maturity and that, it shows that a quarterback can kind of evolve and mature and become a better quarterback. He's a better quarterback now than when he made the playoffs with the Browns. What he did in Tampa Bay was quite impressive. And, the organization has been righted by, losing Tom Brady, and that could set an organization back when you lose the Hall of Famer, the GOAT, the greatest of all time. And it's kind of like, well, we'll just bring in Baker because we're gonna suck this year. We're not gonna be that great this year. And Baker's like, whoa, hold my beer. Let me show you what I can do. Let me do a little shake and bake over here. And he did. He won over the city of Tampa Bay. He won me over. He won a lot of people over. I don't think there's very many people out there that's upset about them signing him. I think it was a really smart move. And it wouldn't have surprised me if there weren't more teams out there trying to get Baker. It's
too late now.
Yeah. I love this move. That's my main take of this. Congratulations, Baker. You are proving a lot of your detractors wrong by your resurgence, and it is a resurgence. And I'm one of those people that he's. I don't necessarily believe he's proven me wrong. I think I was right, but the question has changed. Baker changed the question.
Yeah.
So that's it.
He's killing it. And honestly,
and
I'm going to call it the Tampa Bay Bakers now.
I like it. And you know what? Let's see. I remember, this shows how old I am. I remember when Jordan was with the Chicago Bulls. That shows how long ago this was. And there was a period of time I refused to call them the Chicago Bulls. I'd call them the Chicago Jordans because I thought they sucked. I thought they were not a good team. And I hate using the word suck on air. It just kind of sounds crass. But at the time, they weren't really a great team. They get bounced out every year. It was just this is before Pippen got there. And we used to call them, me and my friends used to call them the Chicago Jordan or the Jordan Bulls. And then Pippen came there and all this, and the rest is history. So when you say the Tampa Bay Bakers, it kind of brought me back to my childhood and made me think back to then.
Oopsies.
Which then it's like, that's a long time ago, sister.
All right, guys. Well, with that, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be discussing Dana White reacts to Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul boxing match. So stick around.
Excellent.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC. to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back. Earlier, we were discussing, dates distracting me. Earlier, we were discussing Kirk Cousins and Baker Mayfield, and now we're going to be talking about Dana White reacts to Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul's boxing match. This has been a big topic lately of yet.
Yes, it has been. I am looking forward to this.
I am too.
Watching,
it's like months away.
Francis Ngannou and his fight just kind of got the juices flowing.
Yeah.
Now it's like, ooh, I want to see this fight. I even, to give you a little background, last night I shot Faith a message on TikTok. I was sending her a video of both of them.
Of Mike Tyson and Jake Paul like practicing. I was like, that's scary to watch. I said, I sent Tate a message back saying, I'm scared.
And
terrifying.
Okay, I don't want to give in too much until I let Faith go do her thing. So go ahead and do your thing, Faith.
Okay. So Dana White reacts to Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. Dana White is not a fan of the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fight. Tyson will be 58 when he steps into the ring to box 27-year-old YouTuber turned pro boxer Paul, July 20th at the AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, home of the Dallas Cowboys. The UFC CEO didn't want to say too much not to upset his good friend Tyson, but doesn't want to see the boxing legend competing, period. White said, he gets mad when I do this, but Mike's 60, man. I don't know what to do. I don't know. What do you guys think about it? Who gives a Sweet Honey Iced Tea what I think? It's not my fight. He says, I love Mike Tyson personally as a friend, and he's one of my favorite athletes of all time. I don't know. Let's see what oh my gosh, sorry. It's like my bangs are in my eyes. Let's see what he can go in there and put together a training camp and come in. I don't like to see guys fighting at that age. It'd be a 31-year age difference during that fight. You guys know what I think of that stuff. So
okay, in the same take, you dropped a sugar honey iced tea and blame your bangs all in one take.
Yeah. Well, okay, the sugar honey iced tea, he said that. I didn't say that. But I can't say the real word on air. I don't want to.
I'm gonna give you my lead pipe lock of the week that Dana White did not say sugar honey iced tea.
That's what it said.
He might have. He said SH.
Yes,
you understand what I'm saying. We like to keep it wholesome. It's Faith's mom's birthday, so she got to watch the whole program, and we can't be chasing her away today. So
I keep this
PG-13, not NC-17.
I was using an acronym for the real word that he said.
All right.
Sweet honey iced tea.
See, I know it as sugar honey iced tea. You got sweet honey iced tea, but it still get both of them all deliver the same message. So, all right. I'm with Dana on this one. I am the biggest Mike Tyson fan you will find. And I've said this. I don't really give Mike much of a chance in this fight. I think Jake is a real fighter. The foolish thing people can do is keep calling him a YouTuber. He's a fighter that does YouTube. It's not a YouTuber that fights.
Yeah.
Make sure. Like, that's the reason why I sent you the video. so you could see, because you think of him as a YouTuber.
Yeah, I know him as a YouTuber, yes.
Yes. And so when you see him training, does he look like a YouTuber to you?
No, and I had never seen, so I'm not really someone that watches fights. So I had never seen like Jake Paul in the ring or anything like that. Jake
is no joke.
It was scary. I was scared. I was scared watching that.
I ain't gonna say you scared me, but
I would. Yes.
So, you know, there's been a lot of, because he gets a lot of heat for the celebrity. I'm gonna do the quote, the celebrity boxing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But he has fought the celebrities. Mm-hmm. Then he moved up to the UFC fighters. He straight tenderized Tyron Woodley. And I love Tyron Woodley. So to see him napping like that was crazy. He's gone up and he's started to fight professional boxers. Mm-hmm. But as he's doing this, I think this is his 9th fight. Mm-hmm. It's not a guy who's just getting into boxing. This is a guy who is in boxing. Mm-hmm. This guy is in training. He goes through training camps. He's sharpening his skills. And I feel like even in his loss, he has progressively gotten better and better and better. I don't claim to be a professional fighter, but I have trained mixed martial arts and boxing for an incredibly long time. Mm-hmm. And you can kind of tell if you've been boxing, you can kind of tell who's a fighter, who's not a fighter. And Jake Paul's the real deal. Now, Iron Mike Tyson. Tyson is a legend in our eyes. And just like Michael Jordan is a legend in our eyes, Tyson is a legend in our eyes. And a lot of times people remember the good old days of Mike Tyson. But Tyson hasn't been Tyson in a very long time. As a fan of Mike, who watched him destroy people, putting people in body bags left and right, mm-hmm. Tyson finished his career losing to Danny Williams. Mm-hmm. Like, if you go before this, he rolled off, let's see, what was his last few fights? I have him here. He lost to Evander Holyfield the first time. He lost to Evander Holyfield the second time. He got annihilated by Lennox Lewis. Then he lost to Danny Williams and then retired by Kevin McBride. Tyson was at the end of his career. I'm not looking at him and saying, hey, no, we need 60-year-old Tyson. That'll show him. That's the thing that worries me.
Yeah.
A 58-year-old man doesn't get better. He's already seen the aging when he was boxing that he had slid. Going in at 60, yes, he looks amazing. Guess what? I look good on the heavy bag myself. I can't whoop Faith. Faith would take me in 2 rounds. I throw a couple jabs and hooks. I get a little tired and she'd take me in the ropes and finish me off.
I don't believe that.
I'm just going to let y'all know. Was it weird that I showed you the picture of me?
No.
Did you see that?
I mean, yeah. But like Tate sent me this picture of when he was doing some training with some guy and he like gave me his name. I was like, I don't know who that is, but that's cool.
Don't even know who Hall of Famer Uriah Faber is, but from the UFC. But no, that seems like is that Becky's dad? Literally training with a UFC Hall of Famer, and she thinks that's like Becky's dad. I'm like, wow, never mind. Why do I try with Faith?
Listen. I was not a
I'm just giving you
sports
a hard time.
person. I was not a sports person before starting this podcast. You have to give me a little bit of a break. She's still studying and learning.
We grade you. Don't worry, we grade you on a curve. You're doing good. You are definitely graded on a curve. Especially since you how you like that Anthony Joshua knockout. You get bonus points.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that was crazy.
Now, everything I've just said about Mike Tyson, I'm gonna tell y'all this right now. Don't get it confused. I'm rooting for Mike. I want to see Mike win. I give him very little chance. But if they turn back the hourglass a little bit and Mike catches him and he goes down, I've said this, I'm gonna scream like a little girl. I'm gonna scream like Becky. I'm gonna be so happy to see that. That's what makes you want to tune in. Even though I'm expecting a train wreck, man, do you understand how people would lose their mind? Could you imagine the story, the Mike Tyson story? If he wins this is a movie of his entire career and how he lost everything and then he brought himself back from rags to riches to knocking out one of the biggest names in professional boxing. Yes, I did say professional boxing. Jake Paul may not be the best fighter in professional boxing, but he is one of the biggest names, if not the biggest name in professional boxing right now. And if Tyson was to pull that off, I'm gonna tell you, I'm making sure there's no cameras anywhere near me during that fight, because if I see Jake Paul get Jake Paul get a little sleepy, oh my God.
I think we should live stream us watching it to get your reaction.
Girl, I'm gonna be up there. I'm gonna have the vapors. I'm gonna be doing one of these numbers. I'm gonna fall out of my chair. Everything. No, I definitely want to see. I am definitely rooting for Mike. So
I think a lot of people are, but
it would be an amazing story. And also, I hate to say this, I don't dislike the Pauls, but I know a lot of people don't like him. And a lot of people tune in because they're hoping to see him go to sleep.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you grew up with the Pauls on YouTube and all the things that they did, you would kind of understand why not a lot of people.
Yeah, I did not. Matter of fact, it's kind of funny, and I'm happy that this is the case. I never heard of the Pauls until they started doing the celebrity boxing. And Nate Robinson, got hit so hard he saw Jesus. At that point, I was like, who the heck is this dude? I kind of looked up and I started following. I found out after the fight. And so I started watching all the stuff with him. And I saw him. He was signing stuff for these little kids and at his hotel. And they were so happy to meet him and things. And I'm like, who the heck is this dude? But I saw the way he was with the kids. And so I ended up liking Jake and Logan Paul because I saw what they were like behind the scenes. Sometimes when those cameras hit you, you have, you ham it up for the cameras. You become larger than life. And that's what I think these guys have made a career on, is how to become larger than life.
Yeah.
But it's worked. It's worked.
No, it absolutely has worked.
One brother fought Floyd Mayweather. The other brother's about to fight Mike Tyson. Two of the biggest names ever. One brother's holding a championship in the WWE. Logan Paul is the U.S. heavyweight champion in the WWE. Granted, I'm not going to call it fake. Scripted, choreographed entertainment. Yeah. That's what I like to call it. But they're athletes. The whole point is the family it's a family of athletes who have been able to do things that no one else has ever been able to do, as far as just being a guy that's on YouTube. Right. Impressive. Absolutely impressive. So,
well, I've already got it on my calendar.
Oh yeah,
I'm excited.
It is on. And you know what? Now you got me thinking, like, let's see how many viewers we have around that time, because a watch party could be something that could be done. We would have to have we'd have to have quite a few viewers before we would do a watch party, but all right. I'm looking forward to the next segment on what Faith has for me.
Well, guys, with that, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, as always, at the end of the show, we're going to dive into our oddities of the day, so stick around. Alrighty, guys, welcome back. Earlier, we were discussing Mike Tyson and Jake Paul, and now, as always, at the end of the show, we're going to dive into our oddities of the day.
All right, Faith.
Yes.
I thought I pushed mute, and I didn't push mute on the phone. So,
I couldn't really hear you, so.
You couldn't hear the conversation?
No.
I'm like, y'all heard my whole conversation on the side over here. I look over, I'm like, oh, hell no. I didn't, I thought I pushed mute. I'm over here having conversations, everything under the sun. Faith looking at me like, what's wrong with you, fool?
No, I just saw your wife walking in, and I was like, oh, what's going on?
I was supposed to be muted. That was supposed to be a private moment.
I didn't hear anything. So.
All right, that's all good. I didn't say anything bad, but yeah. Let's move on.
All right.
Nothing to see here.
So, for our oddities of the day, this one is on about the same level as that one lady going into the school and beating up her kid's teacher. You remember that story?
Yeah, the hedgehog. The Terminator.
This is about the same level. I feel like maybe it's a little worse too, honestly. But
is it her cousin?
No. Well, it might be with how the story is. So a mother was arrested after concocting a drink for her son to give to a school bully that sent him to the hospital. A Texas mother has been arrested after a drink she made for her son's bully sent him to the hospital, according to Bexar County Sheriff's Office. Jennifer Lynn Rossi, 45, reportedly mixed lemon juice, vinegar, salt, and Gatorade together in a sports bottle on Tuesday and told her son to give it to a classmate who had stolen his drink the day before at Legacy Traditional School, Alamo Ranch, approximately 20 miles northwest of downtown San Antonio, Texas, according to an arrest warrant obtained by ABC News. Upon arriving to the school, deputies learned that the sick child was given a drink by a classmate during PE class, Bexar County Sheriff's Office said in their statement regarding the incident. Shortly after the child consumed the drink, he reportedly began experiencing nausea and a headache and was taken to the hospital. Although the contents of the drink were non-toxic, the incident resulted in a child being hospitalized, Bexar County Sheriff's Office said in their statement. Hospital staff informed the investigator that the child victim required additional medical monitoring and would eventually be discharged from the hospital. Through the course of the investigation, it was learned that the mother of the student who provided the drink intentionally mixed the contents of the drink to allegedly prevent her son's drink from being stolen at school by other students. Rossi was arrested and booked into jail, where she was charged with injury to a child causing bodily injury. The investigation into the incident is currently ongoing.
Okay. First, that kid that actually took that drink, he ain't never taken another drink again. He has learned there is consequences and repercussions for your actions. Yeah. This is one of those consequences and repercussions. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Matter of fact, that kid can grow up to be the next Michael Jordan. That kid's not even doing a Gatorade sponsorship. Nope, I don't do Gatorade. Give me Powerade. Give me Mountain Dew, but I don't do Gatorade at all. We are
finished.
They're offering $13 million on this endorsement. Sorry.
Nope.
I'm gonna take that.
Can't do it.
I'm gonna take that $1.25 Powerade endorsement deal. He is never drinking Gatorade again.
Yeah.
And he's never taken anyone's lunch. So the outcome, what Mama was trying to do, I guess it worked. Mama's a damn fool for doing it. You can't, moms. Yeah. Listen, moms, on Sarah's mom's birthday. Let me say something to y'all. Y'all listen to me.
Faith's mom's birthday.
Ooh, called you sorry, wrong mama. Sorry. Nothing like calling a girl the wrong name up in here.
I am not taking any offense to it. It's okay.
All right.
Oh gosh.
Don't be poisoning other kids on the sake of your kid. Go to the principal's office.
Right.
Don't be mixing no DDT in somebody's Gatorade, okay? You can't
making potions in the kitchen.
Yeah. This is not Harry Potter. Do not be mixing in polyjuice potion and giving it to the kids. What is wrong with these parents out here? Don't they know any better than this?
Apparently not.
Now mama doing 6 to 10. Mm-hmm. The kid that was getting bullied, mama's now in prison. So now the other kids will make fun of you because your mama's in prison for poisoning another kid.
Yeah.
But nobody, as they're picking on this kid in school, nobody's taking his lunch. Nobody's touching that kid's lunch. Little Jimmy comes up to me. He want a sip of my Gatorade? No.
Sure.
We know what happened. The last kid that took a sip out of your drink, they didn't make it. So
went to the hospital.
You know.
Yeah.
No. Nobody's taking. They don't want none of his Twizzlers. They don't want none of his Skittles. They don't want none of his stuff anymore. But Mama's going to prison. You cannot. And did you notice they tried to say all the things they gave was non-toxic? Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you mix that stuff together. and the little kid's now in the hospital. You can't put a kid in the hospital. Am I wrong?
Which
one is worse?
Vinegar and lemon juice mixed together. That people use that as like an at-home like cleaning.
Yeah, you can't. If you can scrub the rims on a Buick with it, you can't be giving it to little kids.
Yeah.
You know. If you're polishing your rims up on your car, you can't be like, "Hey, take this to the kid that took your drink and have him drink this one." Of course you going to jail. I'm saying they're going to throw the book at this woman. This woman, now, who's more messed up? The little kid that got his drink taken away, or the little kid that got to go to San Quentin to see his mama on the weekends? You understand? You can't be making these kind of decisions. Parents, make smart decisions. This is one of those times where that whole thing, like Dave Chappelle, when keeping it real goes wrong. Well, mama took it too far. She kept it real, a little too real. It's gone wrong. And now she's serving time. So now, and okay, you brought up the original one. The first story, this was a couple of weeks ago. Y'all should check that one out. But that's the one. Give a shameless plug on for our show. But that's the one when the woman, she's a little short woman, 4'10". She put a little hoodie on. Faith is 2'1", and
4'11" and a half.
4'11". You know what? That's how you know someone's short. When they start counting that half, I'm 4'11" and 3/4.
It matters.
No. If you gotta say 3/4 or 1/2 or an
it matters.
Eighth, just round down. Just round down.
No, I'm not gonna round down. Are you crazy? No, I'm not gonna round down. No.
Ooh, but
if anything, I should round up.
All right. Whatever makes you happy there, Miss Faith. But the woman, ooh, look at the eyes. The woman that snuck in and then beat her son's teacher down.
Yeah.
Because her son was getting bullied. Now she's in prison. And they're gonna be hedgehog woman
they're gonna
and
be cellmates.
Polyjuice potion. They're gonna be cellmates. They both gonna be making license plates. They both making license plates at the prison. Y'all can tell I don't really know anything about prison because I don't even think they make license plates anymore at prison, do you? That's something back when my parents were in school. But yeah, you can't. I know you love your kids, but you can't be beating down kids. No. You can't be poisoning them with polyjuice potion. And you can't be whooping up your kids' teachers. These are just things that should be on the do not do list. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay, let me hear this, Faith.
We shouldn't have to have a do not list. These people should have enough common sense to know not to try and poison one of your son's classmates.
Listen, apparently we need this. You know how like at the fire alarm, they had a little fire alarm, had a little glass you got to break to set the fire alarm off? Well, you need that little note in there. You're like, ooh, somebody messed with my kid. I'm going to go open that. I'm going to break the glass and start reading what I shouldn't do. Don't whoop my son's teacher's butt in class. Don't poison one of my kids' classmates.
Yeah.
These are things that you shouldn't do. I'm just saying. And it's sometimes in the heat of the moment, maybe if you wrote these things down, you could talk yourself off the ledge. And maybe after you read your list, you're like, you know what? I'm glad I did this. I'm going to the principal's office, and then I'm going to therapy.
You know what? I'm an adult, and this is a minor.
Yes. Don't poison minors. That's something you should give up for Lent. Do not poison minors. That's a thing. Start out with small goals. For Lent, we're not poisoning minors anymore, okay? My New Year's resolution is I'm not gonna choke out Miss Beatrice and my kid's third grade teacher. These should be things. Oh, that's right, Miss Petrie. Don't be choking out Miss Petrie while she's trying to teach her kids math. She's talking about Miss Petrie talking about Lewis and Clark, and then the woman came in and broke her jaw. Come on, you can't be parents. You can't be doing this.
Becky.
things that should be on the list. Everybody should have that little piece of paper somewhere written real fine print, just in case, because sometimes you get that, you have that moment. You
know
breathe.
what? With each oddity, we need to make a list and add things to the list.
Things that you shouldn't do. You know what? I'm with you on that one. Maybe we should start this list. This is our parental guidelines. Things that parents should not do. There should be another list. Things that parents shouldn't do. Things that you shouldn't do on the first date. Those are two lists, two solely separate lists. But I think y'all could learn from this show. This is no longer an entertainment show.
I think y'all could.
This was a sports and entertainment show. Not sports entertainment, but a sports and entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're just giving home remedies. We trying to keep parents from going to prison.
So we're trying to keep you guys out of trouble.
We trying to save y'all.
Yeah.
So we're going to start this list so that we can talk y'all off the edge. Don't poison your kid's best friend. Don't beat up your kid's teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And on first dates, don't take your girl to a dumpster behind a restaurant. These are just simple things that people have done that you would think these are like no-brainers. No one needs a list for these things. Apparently they do. That concludes all the advice I have for y'all today.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, with that, we're going to close out our show for today. Thank you so much for tuning into the Andrew Tate Show presented by GSMC Sports Network. Your support means a lot to us, so please remember to subscribe to the show and leave a positive review. It really does make a difference. We also invite you to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram for more content and updates. Thank you once again. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Peace.
Mm-hmm. 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 Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great.